Today I'm going to show you my Microsoft Teams whiteboard and show you how it can be used to collaborate in a really meaningful way, and with some tips and tricks to make it even better than what you might think it is. So first thing I'm going to do when I'm in a meeting with my class is I'm going to open up my share tray, and the whiteboard is all the way to the right. So when you open up the whiteboard, it's going to ask you whether you want this to be presentation only, where only you can edit and students simply watch, or if you want to make this a collaborative whiteboard. Collaborate will always be what is generally selected and will be chosen after the countdown, or you can just click collaborate. What's nice is that if you want to start collaborating with your class but want to make it so that no one can write after a certain point so that you can review, you can use the settings button and turn off participants can edit so that you can have a class discussion. This is especially helpful for our little learners who are still learning responsible fingers. I'm going to turn that back on for a moment, and I'm going to show you just the basic tools. So when you open up the Microsoft Teams meeting, you have your hand and zoom, you have some markers, an eraser, a text box, and a sticky note. These things by themselves can be really great. So if I want to do a writing web, for example, I can start making that web. And say we want to do some brainstorming about a writing piece about Thanksgiving. I can put that text box there, and my students on their end can add to it. So I am pretending to be a student on the other end. I can see as the teacher that someone is about to type. I can add that I could write about the Thanksgiving turkey and add it to the web. Now that's just going to pop up so I can start seeing students' responses pop up on the whiteboard without me doing it myself. I can use the markers to make it look like our traditional writing web if I would like, and it will show up on everybody's whiteboard. I also have a sticky note, so I can make the center of my web something special. I can make the sticky note bigger or smaller, move it where I would like it to be. However you would like to use these tools to create what we would like. What's nice about our pan and zoom arrows, this gives us more whiteboard. So this is not just the small rectangle that you see. I can move down, I can move up, I can move all around. There's a huge whiteboard for me to use, so I never have to erase or worry that something I erased we may need later in class. I can simply keep moving down, and if I want to reference something, come back up. Now, if you would like more options on the teacher end, you can open in the app. So this is something you would download in the Microsoft Store. And once you have it, you can open your whiteboard here, and this allows you more options. So here's the same whiteboard. I can use my toolbar down here. Now you see I have the option to insert an image, either something that's in my library or something that I can pull from online. Or if you're on a device with a camera, you can take a picture. I can also insert different elements. I can insert a list, I can make a template, I can add a PDF or a Word document or even a PowerPoint document. So this can be very powerful. So if I'm trying to work with students and I want to do some multiplication, here's my worksheet and I want to do it with everybody. So I might tell one of my students in the class, I want you to do number 1. Now they're going to see this PDF pop up on their end, just like they did the writing web. They will use their small toolbar to start answering the questions, and it will show up on your end. So everybody can be working off the same thing. Everyone can be answering questions, and perhaps you even assign questions to different kids, and they can all be working on the same sheet at the same time, and you'll start seeing all the answers pop up as all the students complete them. When you see someone that maybe has an incorrect question, you can pause. Nobody knows who did what. So then you can pause and you can say, oh, well, let's take a look. I can use my pens. Now you notice that I also have a ruler now. I have a highlighter, and I want to point out that we're using 8 times 2, so it has to be an even number. So we're going to erase that. Everybody, let's help me find the right answer, and we can put it in different ink so I know that we had to edit. And now I'm back to my main toolbar. So students see this, teachers see this, everybody can edit. There is no way to necessarily know who did what work. So on the teacher end, you will either want to assign it, or this is a great way to do work with everybody with anonymity so that nobody is called out for getting something incorrect. I hit this back arrow, and I can see my old whiteboards this way. I can minimize this, go back into my meeting whiteboard, and if I want to save this whiteboard to reference for another class, I can hit the settings and export this as an image. You're going to notice that the image downloads at the bottom of the screen, and I can save this image in my Teams files so that I can see it, students can see it, and we can all reference this in future lessons. When you're all done, you simply stop presenting. Now let's say that you want to use the whiteboard collaboratively, but then have some class discussion and then go back, or maybe you're doing that writing web, but you want to share an article. So I can stop sharing the whiteboard, bring up an article, do some collaborative discussion or instruction, and reshare the whiteboard. As long as I'm doing this within the same call, the whiteboard from before is still there. So I can continue. So I can bounce back and forth what I share. As long as I don't leave the meeting, this whiteboard will be saved. As soon as I leave the meeting, the whiteboard will go away unless I save it as an image. So those are some great tools for collaborating with your class using the whiteboard features.